Hi guys, in today's video, I would like to share some tips on how to prepare interviews with big law firms. I would like to thank Christian for suggesting this topic. Before we dive in, I would like to acknowledge that there are probably specific requirements and things that you need to pay attention to when preparing interviews for different practice areas. That said, there are commonalities and similar questions for most, if not all, practice areas, and this video will focus on that. The first thing to do is to get very familiar with your resume and the deal list, if any. For those who are wondering, a deal list is a list of matters or transactions you have worked on. If you're a law school student or a recent graduate who hasn't had any actual working experiences, you probably don't have a deal list yet. In that case, focus on your resume and make sure that you are able to tell a story about every single item listed on it. Even if you don't have any actual working experiences relating to law, you probably have worked on some projects or internships. And make sure that you are able to articulate the finer details of such projects or internship, including the background, your role and the tasks, the results generated from your work, and the lessons you learned from it. Now, if you are working at a law firm or in-house department and are looking to make a lateral transition, you will probably want to append a deal list to your resume. Obviously, you don't need to list everything that you have worked on, and I would just list the top 10 matters that you're most involved in or are the most representative of your work. The description of each matter should be succinct and only takes 1 to 2 lines. Now that you have a deal list, what do you do with it in order to be fully prepared for the interviews? Here is a checklist. First, practice describing each item listed on your deal list within 2 minutes, focusing on the background, why the deal occurred in the first place, the type and the nature of the deal, and the parties involved. Obviously, if the deal has not been publicly disclosed, you will not want to disclose the details. Second, describe the structure of your team, your role, and how you were specifically involved. Third, describe the results generated from your and your team's work. And lastly, what lessons you learned from it. Now, your interviewer's questions may not cover all aspects of these matters, as it is entirely up to the interviewer on which direction they would like to take it. However, my suggestion is to really get to know your deals like the back of your hand, and be able to articulate the finer details of your past experience, which, trust me, will help you stand out among all other candidates. Also, make sure you understand the intent of every question from the interviewer, and then address them confidently, succinctly, and with plenty of concrete details. This is probably not news to you and may be intuitive for many, but do your research about the firm, about your interviewers, and your expected role. First, get to know the firm. Having a good understanding of the founding story and the partners of the firm will give you a sense of the culture of the firm. Also, try to learn about the specialties and the notable cases of the firm, as this will give you a good sense of what sectors of law the firm believes important to stand behind. This is not only for purposes of preparing the interview, but also for your own benefit. After all, this is where you may dedicate your several years of your career. Second, know who you are going to speak with. You can research the interviewer's background on the firm's website, LinkedIn, or even on Google, where you may even be able to find commonalities between you and the interviewer. Note down any accomplishments or words of the interviewer, and even when appropriate during the interview, don't be shy to bring them up. This will show them you took the time to get to know who they truly are. Third, on top of the general research about the firm, I would also do some additional homework on the practice group you are interviewing for. See what kind of clients they represent, whether they have a particular focus, what kind of effort they have put into that practice group, and whether they have a direction over the next several years. One common question that comes up in law firm interviews is how you envision yourself professionally down the road in 3 or 5 years. And if you can find this type of information beforehand, this will help you to craft your narrative on where you take a career and how the firm closely aligns with your goals. Lastly, try to get a sense of the expectations for your role and someone at your level from the firm. This is where your network can come into play, as it's always far more helpful by talking to an insider. That is, someone who has a working experience with a firm, or better yet, the same practice group you're interviewing for. This can open up to an entirely new topic, but basically, try to see first if there's someone you know in your network who has a working experience with the firm. And if not, try to search for alumni who went to the same school with you and has work experience with the firm. This can usually be found on the firm's website. And then reach out to them for a quick call to better understand the firm. Not all people will respond, but I certainly got people who responded and provided very helpful information and advice. So it's definitely worth a try. The next tip is ask appropriate questions. Make sure you have some well thought out and intelligent questions prepared. And avoid questions relating to your personal benefit, such as compensation, vacation time, billable hours. You will have the opportunity to address all of them when you have an offer. It's important to recognize that interviews are stressful and it's natural to get nervous. So I would give myself ample time to get ready and do something relaxing before the interview. Also, instead of trying to be perfect during an interview, be yourself and be genuine. And never lie, even little white lies. For example, if you don't know an answer to a question from the interviewer, just say, "I don't know the answer, but I'm happy to get back to you." Alright, these are all the tips I would like to share with you today. Hope they are useful. If you have any questions or would like to hear about any other topics, please let me know by leaving a comment below. See you next time.